The first impression is a crucial part in a video game, and, to an extent, in any form of media. I think it's really important for the player to be engaged by the game the moment they take the controller for the first time, since it will define how much they will want to continue playing. This is exactly why I bring you my newest countdown about my 10 favorite opening levels in gaming, and I will be judging them with different criteria, like how they set up the story, explain the controls of the game, and overall if they manage to convince me to continue with the adventure. Now, I don't want to bring up any confusion. Even though I used the term level in the title, other terms like mission, dungeon, stage or chapter will be also considered, as long as they open the game in a great way. Oh, and overworlds don't count. And like always, the classic protocol applies. One game per franchise, only games I played, please respect my opinion, yada yada yada. Since there is nothing else to say, let's open this countdown! The gyms in the Pokémon series are a genius idea. They are the perfect way to challenge the Pokémon you acquire at the very beginning of your adventure. However, most of them are not really interesting, even if they are really fun to battle. Of course, there is one exception to this. Or should I say, 3 exceptions? No, I shouldn't be doing this. There are 3 gym leaders, but it's just one gym. Screw it. It's the Striaton City gym, okay? Yeah, it was obvious that at least one of my 2 favorite games was gonna have a representative on this list. I'm sorry, but the Striaton City gym is just so unique when it comes to Pokémon. As mentioned before, this place is owned by 3 triplets, Sylan, Cress and Chili, who own a Pansage, a Pansear and a Pampur respectively. But what's the trick behind this? Simple, you will only fight the brother who owns the monkey, which has an advantage over your starter Pokémon. So you can do the math. This concept is very clever in comparison to other opening gyms, and it helps the newer players remember how type advantage works. You can either get an elemental monkey that will have the advantage in Striaton City itself, or you can just try to win with your weak starter. Like everything else in Pokémon, the decision is up to the player. The gym itself is really creative, since it's designed after a restaurant with an easy yet effective puzzle about type advantages, and the battle itself is just very fun and memorable. Overall, the Striaton City gym does a good job opening your Pokémon adventure through the Univar region, but when compared to the rest of this list, it's really not that impressive.
This party's getting crazy. Let's rock!
Oh yeah, whether you believe it or not, I am starting to get into the Devil May Cry series. What I exactly think of it, it's for another video, but let me say that the opening mission of Devil May Cry 3 is just very badass, and every DMC fan loves it. It starts off with Dante relaxing at his unnamed shop, until Arkham arrives to the place and sends some demons to destroy him. This leads off to a very memorable cutscene, in which our hero manages to put off some crazy music while he starts kicking some ass. And he's even eating a slice of pizza at the same time. Awesome! After that, it's our turn to control Dante, so the game can introduce us to the fantastic combat system in a fun and stylish battle that you will never forget. This first mission is just a joy to play and look at. But it's only at number 9 because at the end of the day it's just Dante killing a bunch of demons. Nothing else really. I also like the way this mission manages to show Dante's personality to its fullest right at the very beginning, so the player can enjoy him during the rest of the game. And, well, before he became...
You're an asshole!
Yeah, next number. Oh yeah, the jungle level from the original Contra for the NES. Who can remember that one? It was fun, full of challenging action, and it's iconic for the gaming industry. The jungle is a really badass opening level, but it could be slightly better. But wait, I almost forgot that we have an amazing remake of this level from Contra 4. As you would know, this incredible side-scroller by Way Forward works like a retro game. By that I mean that there is no fucking around. You are not introduced to any story or tutorials, no. The game just throws you in the middle of the jungle while hundreds of enemies are attacking you. The challenge and the satisfying gameplay from the Contra series is right here, alongside an interesting mini-boss and a brand new twist to the wall boss fight from the original. Heck, you even get to listen to a great remix of the classic Contra song. Challenging, fun, iconic, and overall faithful to the original, The Jungle is another reason of why Contra 4 is one of the best retro sequels I've ever played. Now, if you excuse me... Oh my god, shut the fuck up! One of the few flaws in the Legend of Zelda franchise is how slow the starts of these games can be. Seriously, sometimes it feels downright tedious and boring. Twilight Princess, anyone? However, one of the reasons I love Ocarina of Time so much is because of how dynamic the beginning is. You just have to buy that Deku Shield, find the Kokiri Sword, suck it Mido, and you're ready for the first dungeon of the game, the Great Deku Tree. Before I talk about the gameplay, we have to take a look at the backstory. The Great Deku Tree is the guardian of the Kokiri Forest. He took care of baby Link when his mother died at the forest, so he's kind of a father figure for our hero. Now he's infected with a curse by Ganondorf, and it's your mission to help him out. So you can tell this level is very iconic and story driven right from the get-go. Major points for that. The dungeon itself has a very eerie atmosphere with some strange music and lots of creepy monsters, like Skulltulas or the Kubabas. The puzzles are, obviously, very easy, but they are still very entertaining to think and solve, especially the ones involving Deku Sticks and the Slingshot. At the end of the dungeon, Link will have to battle Goma in a very easy yet epic first boss battle that will give you a taste of what's to come. Sadly, even if Link defeated Goma, the Deku Tree will die anyways. Before his demise, he tells you the story of how the goddesses created Hyrule and the Triforce, and after that, you are off to your real adventure. And that is what this dungeon represents. A little kid who defeated scary monsters and now he has to become a man and save the day. Until you enter the water temple and you become its little bitch. I will never stop praising the amazing game that is Psychonauts. And why should I? This game is really a masterpiece. One of the many things I like the most about this title is the level design. Let's remember that every level takes place inside the minds of many interesting characters. And of course, the first one had to be very memorable. Number 6 on this list is Coach Oleander's Basic Braining, which takes place inside the mind of one of the teachers at the Psychonauts camp, during Rasputin's first class. As you would expect, this level is a huge battlefield with references to war. Coach Oleander and your friends teach you the basic controls of the game in a hilarious and very useful way. There is fighting, platforming, sliding, a lot of funny dialogue, and a unique charm to it. The level itself is just a joy to play, and it's a great preparation for the upcoming mental levels that Rasputin will have to go through. At the end of the day, there is really not much to say about Basic Braining. It's just an entertaining and creative level in an entertaining and creative game. That's it. Oh, and this scene is hilarious.
Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go, go, go! Charge!
What kind of obstacle course is this? That kid just got killed!
Ha! I love Psychonauts. I am sorry for being so unoriginal, but I just couldn't leave Bob-omb Battlefield out of this list. I just couldn't. Really, I think it's illegal or something, I don't know. Anyways, today everybody pretty much knows about the first world you can enter in Super Mario 64, and we all know that it's a classic example of how to make a great opening level. The place itself is just so colorful and full of the charm that the Mario series is known for. We are talking about a huge battlefield full of bob-ombs. Wait a moment, that sounded stupidly redundant, but let's move on. And the first start that Mario can get is by climbing up to the top of the mountain that is in the middle of the level, all by enjoying some of the best and funniest 3D platforming in the history of gaming, with a comfortable control scheme and some really catchy music. At the end of the level you will find the Bob-omb King, and then you engage in possibly the easiest and silliest first boss fight ever. But who cares? I still enjoy throwing around his exploding ass. Take that, you freak! Overall, despite how unoriginal this choice is, I just had to put Bob-omb Battlefield at the number 5 spot. It's really unique, entertaining, engaging, and iconic for the entire video game industry, since it's known as one of the most solid opening levels in history. Yeah, that's our good old Mario, everybody. Would you believe me if I told you that I used to hate Kingdom Hearts?
I don't like where this is going.
Nah, don't worry, you all know that I am not like that anymore. I mean, KH is my favorite franchise of all time, but before playing it I just thought it looked so stupid and that it didn't deserve to have so much fans. Of course, I was a stupid guy, but I finally decided to give Kingdom Hearts a chance, so I borrowed the first game in the series from a friend and tried it. And, truth be told, I didn't have a good first impression. Why, you ask? Because of that dumb opening cutscene. It's just so silly and so weird. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But then, a miracle happened. All that cheesy Square Enix / Disney stuff was interrupted by the first level of the game, Dive to the Heart. This takes place in a projection of Sora's heart inside of a dream, while your protagonist is sleeping at the beach. The first thing you may notice is the mysterious atmosphere that is being constructed with an eerie environment and creepy music. The level itself will teach you the basics of the game on each pillar, like the controls, the combat, and etc. In the middle, however, you will find yourself on a projection of Destiny Islands, where your friends will ask you weird stuff. Actually, this is a little bonus that most players are not aware of. If you answer specific things, Sora will gain experience way faster in the rest of the game. That little detail is just awesome. Finally, this great opening level will end with an amazing first boss, the Dark Side, the embodiment of Sora's darkness. It's challenging, epic, and overall very satisfying. So yeah, you could say that the Dive to the Heart is one of the reasons I like Kingdom Hearts so much. It has a perfect atmosphere, good tutorials, interesting little details, and a fantastic boss fight. Too bad it's followed by a tedious fetch quest in Destiny Islands. God of War. This franchise is famous for having some of the best opening levels ever. Well, it's also famous for having one of the worst protagonists and being stupidly violent, but I digress. The way God of War combines giant and intimidating bosses with a well-constructed and complete level is just amazing. And while I could have chosen the City of Rhodes from God of War 2, I've decided to go with something way more iconic. The ship to Athens from the original. Like many other spots on this list, this is considered by many to be one of the best first levels in the history of gaming, and with good reason. We are introduced to our lovable protagonist, Kratos, while he's going to the city of Athens on a ship. But the giant Hydra starts destroying the place, and he will have to get through the ship while killing enemies to finally defeat this beast. The ship itself has a huge atmosphere, with some intense music and great graphics for its time. The way the player has to learn the controls of the game with the different obstacles of the level is very clever, and it introduces you to the sweet combat system of God of War. Oh, and be careful, because one of the Hydra's heads may pop up to scare you at any time. And how could I forget mentioning the fight against the monster itself at the end of the level? Many times people have praised it. I mean, it's just spectacular, violent, fun and very epic, pretty much like everything else in God of War. So yeah, there is nothing else to say. It's a very epic level with a clever tutorial, great atmosphere and a lot of epicness all over the place, especially in the boss fight. Santa Monica Studios knew they had to convince the people into playing their new IP, and you know what? They did a very good job. So, Naked Snake, let's see what's in your schedule for today, shall we? Throwing yourself off to a plane into a wild Asian jungle? Check. Sneak into a Russian base in order to save a scientist? Check. Use your stealth methods so the soldiers don't find you? Check. Survive by eating animals and camouflaging yourself with the forest? Check. Confront a weird guy named Ocelot and his Ocelot unit? Check. Find out your master, the boss, has betrayed your country and defected to Russia? Check. Get beaten up by her while her unit kidnaps the scientist again? Check. Being thrown into a river from a bridge? Check. Witness how the badass Colonel Volgin blows up a laboratory and blames the USA? Check. Oh my god, Snake, this mission was absolutely horrifying! How did you manage to survive? Yes, it's incredible how much shit happens at the Virtuous mission of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Now, some of you may not consider it to be an opening level, but may I remind you that everything happens right before the opening scene shows up? It's just an amazing level. Kojima and his team really managed to get me into the adventure just with this. The story is powerful, the new mechanics like healing yourself or eating animals are really well introduced and teach to the player, the stealth gameplay of the series is as fun as always, and god, I love this game and this mission! This is just one of the many things that I love so much about Snake Eater! I promise I won't sing anymore. Sorry guys. Ironically, this countdown is coming to an end, guys, but before we see which opening level is my favorite, let's recap. Number 10, the Striaton City Gym. Number 9, a Crazy Party. Number 8, the Jungle. Number 7, the Great Deku Tree. Number 6, Coach Oleander's Basic Braining. Number 5, Bob-omb Battlefield. Number 4, Dive to the Heart. Number 3, the Ship to Athens. And number 2, the Virtuous Mission. Of course, without a doubt, the number 1 spot is for Central Highway from Mega Man X. This is just the perfect opening level! What? You actually fell for that? Please guys, you know I am more original than that! Even though I had a Bob-omb Battlefield spot on an opening levels countdown. But, yeah. It's Jungle Bungle from Crash to Insanity, okay? Yeah, as weird as this choice may sound, this is actually my favorite opening level of all time. I have been playing this game ever since I was a kid, and this level never ceased to entertain me in every way. So let me explain it to you in more detail. After spending many years frozen in Antarctica with Uka Uka, Cortex ends up at Insanity Island. He kidnaps Coco and disguises as her in order to fool Crash into entering the forest and into his new trap. Once they are in the jungle, Cortex teaches you the basic and smooth controls of the game in a hilarious and creative way. The design of this place is very colorful and full of the classic Crash Bandicoot charm, which reminds me of the old PS1 titles. The graphics are spot on and the music is just very catchy. After you go through all the fun platforming in this fun level, you will end up in Cortex's trap. All the villains of the franchise are there to take revenge. Awesome! and then you engage in a magnificent first boss against Cortex and his new machine, the Mecha Bandicoot. This fight may be easy, but it's just a joy to play. Definitely one of my favorite opening bosses ever. Trust me on this one. So yeah, that's it. Jungle Bungle from Crash to Insanity is my favorite opening level for all those reasons. With creativity everywhere, amazing tutorials, hilarious humor, smooth controls, fun platforming, and an amazing boss battle, this level is just perfect in my eyes. It may not mean a lot for you, but I played Crash to Insanity many times since I was a kid, and every time I open a new save file, this level just keeps me going into the game. Every fucking time. It's like hypnosis or something. I am ObsidiusFan, thanks a lot for watching, see you guys next time.